Hello, thanks for tuning in. This is my report on my trip up to the north of Scotland, Aberdeen. So yeah, I did well in Montrose, got really good Fournier and some other records, but the Fournier was really the gem. I've reported on that one already. So today I went into Aberdeen after visiting my mother. On the way back, stopped off at Aberdeen, and I plan to visit 4 record shops and about a dozen charity shops. I made clips on my mobile phone. I've pasted them all together. Have a look at those. They're only about sort of 5 or 6 minutes, and then I'll comment at the end. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I've been into one charity shop. Nothing. But I found another one, Oxfam Books and Music. There it is. I don't know whether you can see it. I sometimes get items from these shops, but I'm not too optimistic. Let's see. No, that didn't go too well. Most of the classical records, even the sort of 70s and 80s reissues, Deutsche Grammophon, Galleria, that kind of thing, was priced up at £6, £7, just silly money for really just uncollectible records. But that's the way it's going, and Oxfam tend to be the worst, but occasionally you can be lucky with them. All right, let's hope for better things. Not going well so far. Okay, well that's 7 or 8 charity shops covered. Absolutely nothing. Well, I've decided at least to get some benefit from being here, so that's at the Cinnamon Swirl and Coffee at Pret. So I'm going to take a break and I'm going to try and track down these record shops. Let's hope I manage to get something today, otherwise it'll be a complete washout, but it's a beautiful city and it's really worth being here just for that, walking around, seeing all the lovely architecture. Okay, I found Aberdeen Vinyl Records. I'm just going in. It looks like it's a shop that's part of a sort of Scottish themed gift shop. So, I missed it, kept walking past it, but I found it at last. Here it is. Okay, here I am. I'm in a shop. They've got music playing. I've been told there's not much classical. There's a 3 for £10 box, which I'm going to have a look through, but it doesn't look very good at the moment. But anyway, it's not a bad shop otherwise, as you can see. I don't like the fact that music is playing loudly, but it's not my shop, so some people do like music playing in the record shop. I don't. No, that didn't work. Yeah, I went through all their sort of 3 for £10 sort of miscellaneous. I found hardly anything, of course. Just a Trevor Pinnock Paco Bell gig, just about the worst Pinnock record I could have found. I might have bought it otherwise. So anyway, I'm going on to the next shop. Hope I find something here. Okay, I found the shop, next shop, Made in Vinyl, and there we are. That's it. You see, look up there, Made in Vinyl, closed. I don't know if you can see that. Closed for short break, reopening 26th of April. Doesn't do me much good, does it? So that's got to move on to the next shop. Oh dear. I've been here 2 hours. I haven't bought a single record. But that's how it goes. I've been to little 2-bit towns and come away with really good hauls. I've been to big cities like Glasgow and come away with absolutely nothing. This is a really unpredictable hunting kind of exercise. So I'll hope for more. I'll hope for better at the next shop. Hello. Gold Star Records, Aberdeen. Of course, a lot of record shops have got this bad habit of closing on a Monday, and Gold Star is indeed closed. So, got one record store left to try, and then I'm going home. Well, here I am outside Spin Records. Guess what? They're closed as well. They're supposed to open at 11 AM to 5:30. It's 1:50 here. I've got no idea why they're not open, so I don't know what to do. Probably just going to have to call it a day. I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't really look very promising anyway. So, although from the pictures there seem to be a lot of records inside, but it's not much good if they're not opening their doors. So, I don't know. The sad thing is it's 2 o'clock. I was going to stop at Stirling on the way back and visit some shops there, but there's not going to be enough time now. So that's it. I have not bought a single record, and I've had a nice walk around the city though. Got some good exercise. Had a good coffee with a Cinnamon Swirl at Pret. So hopefully I'll have a nice journey back. Thanks for watching. Okay, there we are. Just before I do my final report on Aberdeen, let me just quickly show you what I got in Montrose. So I already made a video about this one. That was the star item. Yeah, so that's Fournier playing Dvorak's Cello Concerto. And the jacket is absolutely, well, I'd say it's not far off being mint. It's like the day that it was sold. It's just absolutely superb condition. And the record itself is, it looks excellent. There are no spindle marks. It's a German tulip, and it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I paid £3 for it. I was really lucky to get it. The jacket flaps up a bit. Okay, I'll get some Prit and I'll stick that down. I'll show you how I repair jackets. It's a Grand Prix du Disque. It's got all the original stickers. The only downside with this is it's not the original jacket. The original jacket has got a red logo. It's a different design and it's got a picture of Fournier on the front, and it's worth more money. So this jacket is an edition 2 jacket. I think it looks nicer than the original, but that's not the point. It's not the original jacket, and that detracts slightly from the value. So I might well keep this, wait for an original jacket. Maybe on eBay somebody will be selling a copy with a superb jacket and a scratched record for £5, and then I can put the original jacket on this and get a lot more money for it. So that's staying in my collection for now. That's not being sold, but that was worth it. That really lifted my spirits in Montrose for £3. Let me just show you what else I got, more or less. Most of these from Montrose. Simon Rattle, Sibelius number 5. You know, that was worth paying £1 for, I think. Berlioz, Symphony Fantastique. The jacket's in poor condition. That's worth that. I got that for £1. That's a white and gold. It's not really worth tremendous money anyway, but the record looks good. And if I can get a good jacket for that, it'll be worth about, well, not much actually. I wouldn't expect to sell that for more than £20–25, even with a great jacket. But it's got to be worth having a white and gold with a poor jacket for £1, if it's Beecham conducting Berlioz Symphony Fantastique. Okay, Rachmaninoff, Previn, that's a dog stamp. Well, for £1, that's worth having as well, frankly. This one's kind of interesting. It's Mariner conducting Tchaikovsky's Mozartiana Suites 3 and 4. You don't often see that. And that's Capriccio Digital. Again, for £1, I'll take that. Mozart, this is a CFP. Again, for £1. It's got his bassoon concerto on it and a clarinet concerto with the London Mozart players Jane Glover. I like Jane Glover. That's probably for my own collection. That was, again, worth £1. We got this one, Beethoven Symphony 5 and 8. It's got a dirty back. The jacket's dirty at the back. It is actually not a grooved issue, 63.96. I'm not sure if there is a grooved issue for this. I'll have to check. But that was £1. Now, if I hadn't bought that, I wouldn't have bought the Fournier, because in this charity shop in Montrose, I bought this for £1, and the lady behind the counter said, "Oh, do you know it's National Record Shop Day? There's a record shop around the corner. Have you been there yet?" I said, "Oh no, I didn't know about that record shop." And so it was just good luck, because I wasn't going to walk any further on that road. I was going to turn around and get back to my car. So I went on and I found that record shop, which I've already made a video on, and I bought the Fournier. So that record led me to get the Fournier. So great. I had some good fortune. I didn't have any good fortune in Aberdeen. Okay, talking about Aberdeen, here's my final report on Aberdeen. Okay, so I didn't buy any records. Yep, absolutely nothing. Now, okay, 4 record shops, 3 of them were closed. One of them always closes on a Monday. So, and then there was another one that was closed until the 26th of April because they just said, owner taking a holiday. I can't remember which one that was. And then there was one that was open, and then there was that last one, Spin Records, that was closed. Got no idea. I mean, it's supposed to be like a cafe that also does records, and there was no sign of life in it. There were no lights on at all. Otherwise, I might have waited a little bit. But I think it's really bad when a record shop doesn't even put a sign up saying if they're closed because the owner couldn't get in or whatever reason. So I didn't like that. However, having said that, next time I go up, I'll go on a Saturday. I could have gone on Saturday this time, but I wasn't expecting this disaster on a Monday to happen. So I'm hoping that next time I go up, all 4 shops will be open. I did get into one. There was nothing there at all. And the young lady who was standing in for the owner said that they very rarely get offered anything classical, and when they do, they turn it down because it doesn't really sell. I mean, to be fair, that wasn't a bad shop. That wasn't a bad shop. Although I wasn't really that impressed with their selection. I was looking for some Blondie and Queen, Pink Floyd, because I still need certain albums, pop albums, rock albums for my collection, and I'm prepared to pay like £10 to £15 for example, a good copy of Plastic Letters. I would pay £10 to £15 if I could find one. Dark Side of the Moon, again, same sort of price. I wouldn't pay like £25 to £30 though. So I am actually looking out, but I couldn't really see anything. They had Jazz by Queen. They had one at a tenner and they had one at 15. Maybe I should have looked at the one that was 15, but you know, I wasn't too enthusiastic really, because I'd come for classical records. I went through all their cheaper items like 3 for £10, 6 for £10. I just found sort of odds which really wouldn't be of much use to me. They were playing on fairly good equipment. They had a record playing on a Riga Planer 1. I recognised it. The young lady was putting a record on. I said, "Oh, that's a Riga Planer 1 you've got." She said, "Oh, I didn't know that." So anyway, at least I gave her some news there. I said, "I've got a Riga Planer 2, which I'm very happy with." Okay, so I left that shop, and yeah, the other shops were closed. As for the charity shops, what can I say about the charity shops in Aberdeen? More or less, actually, nearly all of them had some records. Some of them had quite a few, like, you know, a couple of hundred in, with plenty of classical. It's just that, you know, most of them are sort of run-of-the-mill records for £1 or £2, and not really of any interest to me. The very last charity shop I visited, I probably found the best records, but they still weren't good enough to warrant buying. Here's a picture of the records now. So you can see we've got the Wagner set with Klemperer conducting vols 1, 2 and 3 in shaded dog, dog in stamp labels. I think there might have been earlier labels actually, but you know, that set never sold. It never sold. It used to sell in the original, the blue silver labels, the Columbia labels, but it never sold as a dog stamp. So I saw no reason to pay £2 each for those records, but I guess a lot of you guys probably would have done. And I'm not that keen on Wagner anyway. For my own collection, 1 or 2 of the overtures I like, but I'm not too keen. And then they had the Kakaturian, but that was a narrow band. I would have bought it if it had been a wide band. And then they had that Deutsche Grammophon, which, you know, it's not worth me paying £2 for that, or even £1 for that. So they were actually the best records I found, and they weren't good enough to buy. So I took that photo, and then I visited the penultimate charity shop I visited. I saw absolutely ludicrous prices. I mentioned this before about charity shops getting greedy. Yeah, I appreciate they've got to make money, but if they're going to make money, really, they should price realistically. Not that I was interested in any of what they were selling, because have a look at these. So we've got this, World of Operetta, which, you know, is like a throwaway record. It's not even something I bother even registering when I'm looking at them. It's an absolute throwaway record, and look at the price. We've got Dixon conducting. Again, that's a world record club that is worth absolutely nothing. It's got no commercial value at all. And we've got Cilla Black at £7. Well, I don't know what the market is like for Cilla Black, but they also had Donny Osmond and the Osmonds for about £8. So I don't know, maybe those records do fetch that amount of money, but they were all like that. And then there's the Gondoliers. Gilbert and Sullivan never fetched money anywhere ever. You know, they were the records that we used to groan, dealers would groan if people said, "Oh, we've got lots of Deckers," and it turned out they were the doily cart, you know, the SKLs, which might have been fantastic sound quality, but come on, Gilbert and Sullivan. Who the hell wants Gilbert and Sullivan? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Gilbert and Sullivan's terrible. Some of it's quite amusing, actually, but for a classical record dealer, it's a non-starter. Yet look at the prices they put on them in this shop. I took those photos just for pure amusement, just to illustrate that some shops are thinking, "Oh, vinyl's coming back, let's make lots of money." But
you know, if they want to sell records, they need to price really at £1 or £2 each, not those silly prices, uninformed prices. So that's about it. What's to be learned from that expedition? Okay, I had a fantastic walk. I love Aberdeen. It's a beautiful city. Took some great photos, and really like the place. It's a shame about the records, but I walked about 12 kilometers. Had really good exercise before the long drive back. Um, yeah, it emphasizes the fact that if you're passing through, stop and have a look, but don't make a special trip to go and buy from charity shops. Or if you're a classical collector, don't even make a special trip to these shops that mainly sell pop and rock, hoping that they'll have some classical, because most of them don't. And it might well have been the three that were closed wouldn't have had any either, but I won't know until I go again, and I will have to go again. So yeah, don't go out of your way if you're a classical buyer. It's just not worth it. There are shops in London that sell only classical, like Notting Hill Gate. There are some others. I don't know whether they're still around. I'll be doing a video on what they were like in the 90s and talking about those shops. But as for now, I don't know. It makes me think maybe I should open a shop of my own and sell classical. But no, I got to admit, I don't think the demand is there, because I think most people are now streaming, and people who are interested in buying classical records, uh, they're they're probably not there are not enough to support an actual bricks and mortar shop, but I'm hoping there'll be enough to sell by mail order and online selling. Okay, that's all. Hope you enjoyed that report anyway, and I'll be back very soon with more videos on classical records. Okay, bye for now.